Many people lost everything during the worst inflation crises in history, but a few people quietly became incredibly rich. Not years later, right in the middle of the chaos. During World War II, while entire economies were collapsing and currencies were losing value, certain individuals were multiplying their wealth. Not by gambling, not by luck, but by understanding a simple economic rule most people never see. Inflation does not destroy wealth. It moves it. And once you understand where it moves, you start seeing opportunities that most people completely miss. Because every major crisis in history hides the same secret. When money loses value, something else gains it. The real question is simple. When the next inflation wave hits, will your money lose value like everyone else's? Or will it move with the current that creates wealth? To answer that, we need to go back to one of the most extreme economic environments in modern history. The year is 1942. War has completely reshaped the global economy. Factories that once produced cars now build tanks. Steel, fuel, and food become strategic resources. Governments print enormous amounts of money to finance the war. Prices begin to rise, slowly at first, then faster. For most people, this environment feels dangerous. Savings lose value. Wages struggle to keep up with rising prices. And uncertainty spreads everywhere. But something interesting happens during every inflationary period in history. While most people get poor, a small group of people become extremely wealthy. Not because they are lucky, but because they understand how inflation actually works. Inflation is often described as rising prices, but that description hides the real mechanism. Inflation is not simply prices going up. Inflation is money losing value. When governments increase the supply of money, each unit of currency represents a smaller share of real goods, and this creates a powerful economic effect. People who hold cash lose purchasing power, but people who hold real assets often gain. This pattern has appeared again and again throughout history. During World War II, during the oil crisis of the 1970s, during hyperinflation episodes in multiple countries, and even during modern economic shocks, the same transfer of wealth appears every time. Money flows away from passive savings and towards scarce assets. To understand why, imagine a simple example. You hold $10,000 in cash. At the beginning of a year, that money can buy a certain amount of food, energy, housing, and services. But if inflation reaches 10%, that same money now buys 10% less. Nothing changed about the money itself, but its purchasing power quietly shrank. Now imagine a different scenario. Instead of holding cash, you own something real. Land, energy resources, essential commodities, or shares in companies that produce them. As inflation rises, the prices of those goods tend to increase. Not because the goods changed, but because the currency measuring them lost value. This is why certain industries often thrive during inflationary periods. Energy, natural resources, infrastructure, defense, and food production. These sectors produce things that society cannot stop consuming, even during crisis, especially during crisis. Now add war into the equation. Wars create enormous demand for specific resources. Steel, fuel, transportation, technology, logistics. Entire industries suddenly become critical. Governments spend massive amounts of money to secure these resources, and the companies positioned in those sectors experience explosive growth. Historically, many fortunes have been built during wartime economies, not because war is good, but because war concentrates economic demand. And when demand concentrates, Wealth concentrates too. But there is another layer to this story. The most important strategy used during inflationary environments is not simply owning assets. It is owning scarce assets. Scarcity is the key concept. When something is scarce, its value becomes resistant to inflation. Land cannot be printed. Oil cannot be printed. Natural resources cannot be printed. And productive businesses cannot be printed. But currency can. This is why inflation tends to punish savers and reward asset holders. Another interesting effect happens during inflation. Debt becomes cheaper. When someone borrows money, they promise to repay that amount in the future. But if inflation rises, the value of that future repayment decreases. In simple terms, inflation quietly reduces the real burden of debt. Throughout history, many wealthy individuals have used this dynamic strategically. They borrow money to acquire productive assets. Then inflation reduces the real value of their debt, while the value of their assets increases. This creates a powerful wealth expansion effect. The asset grows in price, while the debt shrinks in real terms. But timing matters, and positioning matters even more, because not every asset performs well during inflation. Luxury goods often suffer. Consumer spending weakens. Weak companies collapse under rising costs. Only sectors tied to essential economic activity tend to thrive. Energy, food, transport, raw materials, infrastructure, and companies that control supply chains. These sectors form the backbone of wartime and crisis economies. And because they are essential, demand rarely disappears, even during instability. History repeatedly shows the same pattern. During crises, most people move towards safety. They hold cash. They reduce risk. They wait. But the individuals who understand economic cycles do something different. They study where demand is moving. They identify which assets become more valuable when money loses value. And they position themselves there early. Because inflation does not destroy wealth, it redistributes it. And those who understand the mechanism can ride that redistribution. This is why throughout history, many fortunes have been born during the most chaotic economic periods. Wars, oil shocks, currency crises, supply disruptions. All of these events create the same economic effect. They shake the system, and whenever the system shakes, wealth moves. The real question is not whether crises will happen. History guarantees that they will. The real question is this: when the next inflationary shock arrives, will your money be standing still, or will it be positioned where wealth flows?